Hi everyone, it's Gina K from Gina K Designs and your host of Stamp TV. And today I'm so excited to share my brand new adhesive release by Gina K Designs and ThermOWeb. The first products I want to show you are the brand new foam squares. They come in both black and white, and I love these foam squares for so many reasons. First, they have a 1/16 of an inch loft. Now this allows you to layer them and have different heights of popped up pieces, and they still won't be too thick. Then I love that they're a little bit bigger than a 1/4 of an inch foam square, but they're smaller than a 1/2 inch foam square, and in my opinion they're the perfect size for most applications. And then I also love the delivery system. You're going to notice that there is a very long piece of leader tape that will come out of the box first. And in fact, you might think it's too long, but it's not. There are still 320 squares in that box. But once you feel that first foam square approaching the end of that leader tape, watch how this pops out. It comes out one foam square at a time. They're already cut and ready to use. And all the rest stay inside the box and they stay protected. They don't come off and they don't get stuck to other things. Next, we have our brand new foam tape. This foam tape is also 1/16 of an inch in height, and that allows for a more shallow loft, or you can layer as you go and go as high up as you want. It's not too wide at 3/8 of an inch, so it's perfect for shaker cards and frames, and the small core makes it easy to store in your adhesive drawer or to travel to your next crop. Next, we have our brand new terrific tape, and it's terrific for a lot of reasons. It comes in 3 sizes, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 1/2 an inch. It has 27 yards of strong, durable, double-sided sticky tape, same as other brands, but the core is smaller, so it takes up much less space in your drawer, and it's easy to take with you on the go. The liners peel off easily, and they leave behind a strong tape. Terrific tape is great for so many projects. The strong bond is great for everything from boxes to home decor, and it's also fun for stamping techniques. The final new product is our new Masking Magic. Masking Magic has 12 sheets of 5x7 masking paper that will stick enough for masking applications, but it will never leave a residue. The smooth surface allows for crisp, clean images, and it's reusable. I'll have a video coming up on masking techniques in the future. Now I'm going to make a project using all of these brand new products. So I'm going to start with the 1/8 of an inch terrific tape. I'm also going to use the foam tape. I'm going to use some foam squares for this project. Now I'm also going to use our StampnFoil system. So the stamp set I'm using is the Baby It's Cold Outside stamp set, and I'm also going to be using some of the detail sheets. Along with that, I'm using some of the fancy foil in the brilliant blue. Love this color. I'm also using some of the DecoFoil clear designer toner sheets, but these are completely clear. They don't have any design on them, and this is going to make my shaker window. For cardstock, I'm using some of the Gina K Designs heavy base weight white for my card base. I'm using some sea glass. I have a piece of layering weight here, which you can see I've already embossed using the Cuttlebug Swiss Dot folder. And then I also have an extra piece of white cardstock and some more sea glass. For dies, I'm using the large square dies by ThermOWeb and Gina K Designs. These are the ones with the single stitch, and I'm using the largest and the smallest in the pack. They're going to layer together to make my frame. Now I also have some Nouveau sequins. These are the diamond sequins for my shaker card. And then I also have a few rhinestone style embellishments here. And I thought these were pretty and they matched the diamond sequins by Nouveau. I also have some ink. I'm using the Gina K Design Sea Glass and Black Onyx. I'm also going to use the dies that coordinate with the Baby It's Cold Outside stamp set. This way I can cut some of the snowflakes out. To begin, I'm going to use this snowflake from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it using sea glass on top of the detail sheets. The different snowflakes in the stamp set match with different parts of the detail sheets, so some of the image can be stamped and other parts can be foiled. So I've stamped that one, and you can see how pretty that looks, and I'm also going to stamp two of the smaller ones. So this one lines up with this snowflake. Excuse my bangs for getting in the way. And then the final one of the other stamps coordinates with this other smaller snowflake. So there's two different styles of snowflakes, and when they're blended together, they're the same type of snowflake, but different parts are stamped and different parts get foiled. And you can see up close how nice they look when you stamp on top of those detail sheets. So my next step is to stamp my greeting. And I want to make sure that whatever greeting I use, it's going to fit inside of this little die, because that die is going to be used to cut out my center of my frame, and I want to make sure the greeting shows through. So I'm going to stamp the Happy Holidays greeting, and I'm going to stamp it right in the center of this piece of white cardstock. Now once that's done, I'm going to start die cutting my snowflakes. I'm making a template first out of a piece of colored cardstock. This way I can line that template up around my image that I want to cut, and then I can wiggle the die into the hole, and it will be perfect every time I cut. So I'm going to lay the snowflake that I want to cut onto the Big Shot, and then I'm going to put that template on top. Now I can see I have even edges all the way around, so I'm going to tape that into place using some of the ThermOWeb purple tape. This purple tape is great for taping down cardstock because it doesn't tear the cardstock when you pull it up. Now I'm going to wiggle that die into the hole, and once I feel it snap into place, I can cut it, and I know that my edges are going to look perfect. So you can see now, I'm going to pop this die out, this die cut piece out of the die, and you can see how nice those edges look. So I've cut all three snowflakes, and now I'm ready to move on to my next step. The next step is going to be to foil the snowflakes. So I have the snowflakes inside a piece of parchment paper, and I have an additional piece of cardstock in there just to help everything stay level, to increase the pressure of the laminator, and to raise it up a little bit closer to the heating element. Now I'm going to send that through the laminator, and then when it comes out the other side, I'm going to peel off that foil and reveal the beautiful sparkle and shine that's on all of those snowflakes wherever that black toner was. So I'm peeling them off, and you can see how beautiful they shine now. And that's the brilliant blue fancy foil. Now it's time to make the frame. So I'm going to start with the larger square die, and I'm going to cut that out of sea glass. And once that's cut out, that's going to enable me to make my window by using the smaller of the dies in that set. You can see the pretty stitched edge around there. Now I'm going to place that on my Big Shot, and then I'm going to place the smaller die right in the center, and I'm just eyeballing that. I'm going to send that through the Big Shot, and that's going to create the window that I'm going to be able to see my word through, my Happy Holidays, and all of the cute little sequins that we put inside. So now it's time to add the window to this frame. I'm going to do that using some of the 1/8 of an inch terrific tape. So I'm going to flip it over onto the back and make sure that that window goes over the opening. Now I'm going to just tear some of this terrific tape, and I love how easy it is to tear this tape. You don't need scissors. You can just cut it. Even if you have a tiny little bit to tear off, it tears off very easily. So once I get that strip down, I'm going to peel off the backing liner, and I'm going to continue to put the strips all the way around the frame. And once that's done, I'm going to be able to peel off the last liner and adhere my window onto my frame. So I just want to line that up and then lay it down and then press with my fingers to make sure that it's totally sealed. And you can see now I have a cute little window that's ready to turn into a shaker card. So the next step is going to be to add some foam tape to this window, because I do need to have a little gap between the window and the Happy Holidays greeting so that the sequins can move freely in there and shake. So I'm adding the foam tape all the way around. Now, whenever you're making a shaker card, the one thing that you have to make sure you do is connect the foam tape so that there's no little escape routes for the sequins or whatever you're going to put inside your shaker card. You don't want to create an escape route where they can just kind of shake right out of the card. So now I have my foam tape all the way around, and I'm going to add some of these Nouveau sequins just by pouring them into the center of my piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to check just to make sure that those sequins are the right amount. Do I want to add a little bit more? Do I want to take some out? Are they shaking freely? It's always good to test before you stick your window down. So I just took a few off, and then I'm going to peel the liners on my frame, and I'm going to adhere that frame onto my Happy Holidays greeting and capture all of those sequins inside the window. So I'm kind of scooting the sequins into the center first, and then I'm going to lay the frame down and center the greeting inside that frame. Once that's done, I'll just pat it down and I'll check it to make sure they shake and everything looks good, and that's ready to be attached to my card. Now to attach it, I'm going to use some more of the Terrific tape. And the Terrific tape is so strong and it has such a great bond that I'm only going to need 3 strips going across the back. And I'm still using the 1/8 of an inch, but if you want a little bit more tape back there, you can use the 1/4 inch or the 1/2 inch. So now I'm going to assemble the card by adhering my white embossed piece onto my sea glass panel. But I want to show you something really cool. You see how I just did a strip of Gina K Designs adhesive? If you have that where you don't want it, you can just roll it right off. You see it rolling off? Just roll it off with your fingertip. It'll come completely off and it will leave no residue behind. Yet you'll get an extremely strong bond with it once you bond the 2 pieces of cardstock together. So that's a little plus. If you tape somewhere you don't want to with this dot style adhesive, you can roll it right off. So that panel is going to go onto my white card base, and then my card is ready for the shaker box. So I'm going to peel off the liners from the Terrific tape, and then I'm going to add the shaker box onto the top portion of my card. I'm just going to line it up and make sure it's even on both sides. And these dots from the Swiss Dot embossing folder really do help me see that it's straight. So once it's straight, I'm going to just pat it down, and that is stuck to the card. Now it's time to add the snowflakes to the bottom of the card. So I'm going to use 1 foam square for each of the small snowflakes. And then for that larger snowflake, I'm actually going to double up on foam squares. So I'm going to take that loft from 1/16 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch. It's still not too high up to mail in a regular A2 size envelope, but it will put this larger snowflake in front of the smaller 2. So I'm layering those together. And once they're layered together, I can adhere the small snowflakes on either side, and then I can add that larger snowflake in the front, and it will be raised up higher than the ones on either side. So that is my finished card project, and look how cute that is. Look at the way that shakes. Now I have another card project that I made in red, and I used the Holly Jolly Stampin' Foil system. And I have the poinsettias here that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add one foam square for the poinsettias that are on the left and the right of the bottom of the card, and then the middle poinsettia I'm doubling up on foam squares, so that one's going to stick out a little further. So that's just another version of the same layout using the Holly Jolly Stampin' Foil system. I hope you've enjoyed today's Stamp TV video, and I hope you'll give these projects a try. ThermOWeb has always been the industry leader in the highest quality adhesive products, and I'm so proud to have my name on these products that ThermOWeb manufactured for me. These products are now available at ThermOWeb.com. They'll soon be available at GinaKDesigns.com and fine retailers near you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you back here soon on Stamp TV.